welcome to a new video. It is me, Desiree, and it is time for a concealer declutter. So I keep all of my concealers in this drawer right here. I have like this little 2-drawer compartment thing, and I keep all the concealers in one right there. Oh, that's a mascara. And I just see a lot in here that I don't want anymore. Ones I don't like, ones I don't reach for, and I've been doing like a gentle declutter every other weekend, and I've gotten rid of a couple concealers, but there's a lot in here I just don't want, and I really want to only have what I like love and want to use all the time. So I have 3 categories. One is declutter, one is I'm using it up till I finish it but I won't buy it again, and the other one is holy grails that I love so much I never want to be without. So let's start with the holy grails. Let's do the ones I love so much and I don't want to ever be without. So of course my #1 favorite is the Tarte CC Under Eye Corrector. This is my #1 favorite under eye concealer. It's my all-time favorite. I mean, I have 3 of them here, and I have 3 because there was a time where this fell off the face of the earth. I couldn't find it anywhere. It wasn't on Tarte's website, Sephora's website, Ulta, HSN, QVC, you name it, I looked. It was nowhere to be found. I even went and Instagrammed. I sent a DM on Instagram to Tarte and they said, we have no idea when it's coming back. And I thought, what the heck? So I bought these 2 on Poshmark. This is the old packaging. One of them is pretty used up, like it's almost empty here. And one of these lasts me the better part of a year. Usually it's about 10 to 12 months it'll take me to use it up. So, you know, not bad for the price. I think it's like $26 or $28. I think that's pretty good for a concealer that will last that long. If I use it every day, it'll still last a year. I'm gonna let go of these old ones because this one's pretty much like done. Like I've used a ton of it, but I don't know how old this was when I bought it on Poshmark, and it's changed in consistency and texture so much that it's like unusable. It's just really chunky and lumpy and weird now. So I'm gonna let this one go as well as this one. Same issue with this one. It's just like there's something wrong with the texture, and I have had the ones that I've used all year, they never ever change texture. So I'm feeling like these must have been a lot older than I was expecting. I don't know. But the texture is really funny on this one, so I'm gonna let it go. This one's pretty much used up anyway, so I will call this an empty. But I'm gonna keep these anyway because I want to have the old packaging on my Holy Grail concealer. I might just clean them out. And then of course I'm gonna keep this one. This is the new packaging. And I love this one a lot. They improved the formula. Although this one in the old packaging was the best, they somehow made it better. So this is my favorite thing ever. Great under eye concealer. It's very emollient and hydrating. It's got the corrector and the concealer in one, so it's like one step. Love it so much. Keep it forever, and I've been using it for a very long time. Another concealer that I love so much is the #7 Lift Illuminate Serum Concealer. This is another one that I think is a very, very underrated concealer as well. I think it's underrated because there aren't a lot of people that can try it. They only have 5 shades, and pretty much every shade looks like this one. So if they had a bigger shade range, I think it would be way more popular. So I hope they expand it, because with their foundations, they have a pretty solid shade range. They go from like super light to dark. But for some reason in this concealer, they only put out 5. And the range is really bad as well. But if you happen to be able to use this, it is phenomenal. It's just your basic little doe foot applicator here, but it's the texture and the formula and the finish of this is so good. I like use this on my entire face just to cover everything. It blends nicely, it looks good throughout the day, looks good under the eyes, it doesn't settle into your lines. It's just a beautiful concealer. I absolutely love it. I've bought it a few times already and I love this one. It's in the shade Light, and I'll buy it until they discontinue it. I think it's fantastic. Okay, the next one is actually one that I didn't realize was a favorite until recently, and it's the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. This is one I don't want to be without. It's just a really, really good under eye concealer. It is ultra pigmented, very high coverage. A little goes a long way. Like, I've had this sample size for 3 years minimum, but I feel like it's been 4 years. And I think I got this as a 100-point perk from Sephora, and I still have it. It's still going strong. And I use this pretty regularly. Like with any other concealer, I would have used this up, but the amount that you need is so small with this. I mean, let me try to get like the amount I would use. Like that much. That little bit right there will do both of your under eyes to like ultra coverage. It is what I'm wearing today. I feel like I don't know if it's just the lighting or what, but my eyes feel like they look like this today. I don't know why that is. Maybe that's just how they look, I don't know. But this is the one that I'm wearing today. Like I said, it is ultra pigmented. It's very, very creamy, but it's also on the thicker side. So I do like to put this on with my fingertips. I kind of put it between my ring fingers like this, and then when I pat it on, I go over it and I blend it and I pat it for a little bit because I feel like it really warms it up and it kind of melts it into the skin a little bit. You don't need a lot of this. I mean, less is more with this. If you use too much, it will settle, it will crease, it will not look nice. So start slow with this one. But I've had this for so long. I actually thought I was going to use it up, so I bought the full size. And I haven't even used this. I think I did open it and use it one time, but this little guy is still going strong. So if this has lasted me 3 years minimum, this is definitely going to last probably 10 years before I finish it up. It does say 24-month shelf life, but there's no way I would use this up in 2 years. Like I'll keep it till I feel like it's done. But this is another one of my holy grails that I didn't realize was a holy grail until recently. Okay, another holy grail, the Maybelline Master Conceal Camouflaging Concealer. This is an underrated gem. Underrated gem, just like the number 7 one. I feel like if Maybelline were to re-promote this concealer, it would fly off the shelves because it's been around for a while. It's on the bottom shelf, on the lowest shelf of on the display. There's probably 5 shades maybe, but it's so amazing. Absolutely amazing. I think this is the same formula as the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Concealer. It's super duper thin. I don't know if these swatches are really going to do anything for you. It's super duper thin, very skin-like. It has the most beautiful coverage, and I love this especially for the under eyes. Because it is so thin but packed with pigment, it just blends in so easily. It will not settle into your fine lines, it will not crease, it will not settle, it'll just look beautiful. And this is like a self-setting concealer, so you don't need to put powder on it at all. It will dry down completely into your skin, but it won't dry down tight. It just kind of dries down, like it disappears. And it's so thin, you don't need to use a lot of it either. It's super easy to blend. It doesn't have any sort of glossy finish. You don't need to set it with powder, like I said. It will wear all day long. I've always been curious on why they haven't come out with a foundation that's similar to this, because usually companies have like their foundation and the concealer that's in the same kind of range, like they call it the same thing, and they never came out with like a master I don't know, foundation of some sort. Or did they in the past and I forgot about it? But either way, this is amazing. If you want like the best, smoothest, crease-free under eyes, but they're covered up, but they don't look like they're full of concealer, I literally have nothing bad to say about this other than the shade range isn't amazing. But I really hope they would expand this and like re-promote it, because this, like I said, would fly off the shelves if people knew how great it was. Anything else here that's like holy grail that I can't live without? I don't think so. Everything else in here is like either declutter or I'm gonna use it till it's done, and that's kind of it. So I had 4 holy grails here, which I think are amazing concealers. I would recommend to anybody. Let's do the ones that I'm gonna declutter. So this is the NYX Born to Glow concealer. I've just never really liked this. I always forget that I have it. It looks almost exactly the same as the Revlon, whatever that one Revlon has that looks like this, or did they already get rid of it? I don't even know. Has like a sponge tip applicator. It's fine. I just don't like the way it looks on my face, and it's also the wrong shade, so I never use it. Another one I'm gonna let go of is from Hard Candy. This is the Sheer Envy Color Correct Cushion Wonder Concealer. I bought a few things from Hard Candy because I've never really like explored the brand too much. I have a couple things I really love, and I wanted to try out the concealer. I got the foundation. I bought the Instant Summer Bronzer, and it smells so bad, so cheap. But this concealer was a mess. Not only is it an actual mess, like it's just so messy. The lid is really messy. It never seems to stop coming out of the tip here. So when you squeeze it, the concealer comes out, you put it all over your face. Similar to the NYX one here, but this one doesn't stay messy like this one does. It doesn't do anything. It goes onto your face, you blend it out, and it disappears. It doesn't color correct, it doesn't conceal, it literally does nothing, and I was like, what the heck? So this is going right into the garbage. I really don't like that at all. Another declutter is the Fenty Beauty Bright Fix Eye Brightener. And this is one that I actually went back and forth on. When I first got it, I loved it. I even talked about it in a video, and I was like, this is the best thing since sliced bread. I loved it so much. And then, I don't know, I just started like using my other stuff, and I realized how much I don't like this in comparison to the ones I really like. So it's a very, very thin consistency as well, like really, really nice, really blendable. But the pigmentation is so light with this that you need to build it up to get it to conceal your under eyes, at least I do. And then you're just putting more and more product on, but it doesn't look nice when you're building it up. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't wear nice throughout the day. I don't like it. I don't like anything about this. Yeah, gonna let it go. This is a weird one. Oh look, it's doing the thing I was hoping it would do so I could show you. This is the Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer. I have here the shade L5. So I don't know if you can see this, how it's separating. Like there's like a very orange yellow kind of like something going on in there. Like the pigment is separating from the formula or something. Can you tell? I might have to put a picture in so you can see it a little better. But this concealer has done this since I bought it. And at first I was like, oh, it's fine, just remix it every time. And then I think, for such an expensive luxury brand, why is the concealer separating like that? And it did this since I got it brand new. Like it's done this the whole time. And I would just mix it up, get the applicator out, and like move it around in the tube so I can mix it up together. I don't like doing that. I think that's kind of weird, and I feel funny about it now because it separates faster than ever. I'm sure you could see it, right? Like here's like a regular color, and then here it looks like super yellow. It's just really strange. And I mixed this up yesterday, and it's already separated again. The formula is outstanding. Outstanding. I love the way that this looks on my skin. I wish this is what the foundation was like, because I love this. This is one I wear pretty much usually on my entire face. I think it looks so gorgeous. But the color is too yellow for me, and I don't like having to mix it up like that. I just feel weird about it. So I am gonna let this go. I know it's kind of weird, but I don't know, I just feel weird about it now. But there is a dupe out there for this that I feel is a dupe, and it's the Wet n Wild Incognito Concealer. So I had been using this for a couple of weeks, and then I bought the Wet n Wild Incognito Concealer when it came out. And right after using this, I used that, and they're exactly the same. Like they blend freakishly fast. They look gorgeous on the skin. Oh my God, such a great formula, but I feel funny about it. And I don't have a Wet n Wild Incognito one to show you because I used it up, but that would definitely make it into like the holy grail, gotta have it section here. What else am I decluttering? The Innisfree My Concealer. I did show this that I was decluttering it in my Keep or Declutter last weekend, or my most recent one. I love the applicator on this. It's very nice, this little diamond tip. It kind of fits perfectly on the under eyes, but it has a really strong fragrance to it, and it's just too pink. It is a corrector, so it's supposed to be that kind of color, but it just doesn't work for me. It doesn't wear nice. It breaks apart, breaks down, and just looks kind of yucky throughout the day, so I'm gonna let go of that. As well as the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Concealer. I decluttered this one in that other video as well. It's a stick concealer with a like hydrating core. It's super, super emollient, very hydrating, very easy to like draw on your entire face. Like you'll want to just color in your whole face with this because it's so satisfying. But when I blend it in, it disappears, like completely disappears, very similar to the Sheer Envy from Hard Candy, and it just drives me nuts. So yeah, letting go of that. Another one I'm letting go of is the Bare Minerals Bare Pro. This is the shade Light Neutral 4, and I bought this because of Lily Pebbles. She is a YouTuber, and she's so awesome. I love her. But there was a long period of time where she was using this concealer all the time. She always showed it. She'd draw it on her face, and she'd get her little brush and blend it in, and I thought, I want to do that. So I went and bought it, and I love the packaging. It took me a long time to pick a shade because I just didn't think the shade range was that nice. It's a stick concealer, slim tube, love it. It's easy to draw into your face. Again, one that's super creamy. The shade doesn't really work for me. Like, it's not a shade I really like. I kind of just picked it because it was the best of what they had, even though they didn't have one that I really wanted. So the shade isn't right for me. It also blends like a nightmare. I cannot blend this out. It just kind of stays there, and it's really hard to move around my face. Yeah, letting it go. Not my favorite. Another stick concealer that I'm letting go is the Bobbi Brown Skin Concealer Stick. I have here the shade Cool Sand. This is actually one I always forget that I have. I think this is one I bought because I was doing like a buying the first few things Sephora recommends to me video, and I think this was one of the products that I bought. And I like this a lot for my under eyes. I think it's really, really nice. It's got a nice magnetic closure too. Pretty cool. It's a stick concealer, ultra emollient, just like the like that Neutrogena one. Like, you'll just want to like draw on your entire face because it's so satisfying. Very, very nourishing, emollient, like hydrating concealer stick. Like, this will be really good for dry under eyes. And I only like this for my under eyes. I don't know why. It only works on the under eyes. It's very nourishing, very emollient, like I said, blends nice, wears all day. But on the face, this doesn't work. Like, it does not blend. No matter if I've tried like my fingers, the sponge, a brush, I've tried it all. It doesn't move. It breaks apart so easily. It just sits on top of your face and looks bad. I don't know why. It just doesn't work for me, and I'm gonna let it go. So I have one that I forgot, and I think I'm gonna put this in like the can't live without it category, and it's the Ulta Beauty Youthful Glow Concealer. This is one that I have used up and repurchased, but then once I bought it, I moved on to other stuff and I don't use it that often anymore. But every time I use it, I love it. This is so similar to the L'Oreal Pro Glow Concealer. It's really, really lightweight on the skin. It's got some nice coverage. It's got a glowy finish, like that nice dewy kind of wet look on the skin. This does have a little more coverage than the L'Oreal one does, and I think they have a nicer shade range as well. And I really, really, really like this one a lot. I can't believe I almost forgot about it. But yeah, definitely one of my favorites. Gonna move it to the can't live without it category. Okay, and now the rest of what's here are things I like enough to use them up, but once I'm done, I'm not gonna buy them again. Like, I'm gonna get my fill and then move on, you know? So I have here the NYX Bear With Me Serum Concealer. I think I have a video on this where I actually demo this and put it on. I like this one a lot, actually. It feels really, really good on the skin. It has a little bit of like a tackier, stickier texture, but it's very, very hydrating. It feels really, really good. Has a very beautiful coverage, wears all day. I'm kind of thinking I love it now. But yeah, it's one I'll use up and then kind of like get my fill of it though. It's really, really nice. I have here the shade called Light. It's just called Light. I guess I got the light shade. It's in an airless pump. It's got some nice skincare ingredients in it. It feels good on the skin, wears all day. Nice kind of dewy wet look as well. I have the Benefit Boing Cakeless Concealer. I've had this for so long. I bought this during one of Ulta's 21 Days of Beauty. I think it was $10, and I really like it. I mean, the packaging is cute enough. Like, once I use this up, I'll probably keep it anyway. Doe Foot Applicator, but the reason this is not like a holy grail or anything, I think it's just the shade. Because the shade for me is a little bit too light. Like, too light to use on my whole face. There is it right there. So I tend to just use this on my under eyes, and it's so brightening. And I think because it is that lighter shade, this one has a very, very similar formula to the Maybelline Master Conceal, where I feel like it's a self-setting concealer. Really, really thin with nice coverage. It will not settle into my lines or anything under my eyes. You don't need to set it with powder. It dries down really nicely, but not tight. Gonna keep it and use it up. And then I also have a little mini that I got from Ipsy. I have the JOSIE MARAN Vibrancy Argan Oil Full Coverage Concealer Fluid. I've had this for so long as well. Very beautiful formula. This is a really, really good concealer. Very well done. Full coverage, looks great on the skin. This one does have more of like a wet, dewy look. I do set this one with powder. I have here the shade Light. This is one I'll use up and won't repurchase. The shade isn't perfect for me, so this is one I do wear like on my whole face rather than like spot concealing or using it on top of foundation, because it's very obvious that I have a different colored concealer on. So this one I do use like just on its own. I like it though, but I wouldn't repurchase. What else? Oh, this is one I didn't realize I use as much as I do. It's the Tarte C Hydro Sealer. I have here the shade 20N Light Neutral. And I didn't realize I used this so much until this morning. I actually have to go in with my little like tool that you put inside of inside the concealer to like scrape around in there. And I like this one. It's really nice, skin-like, pretty, wet look on the skin. I wouldn't buy this again though, just because it's not the best concealer ever, but it's very, very pretty. And every time I use it, I'm like, why don't I use that again? But there's just something about it that doesn't like suck me in. Like I don't want to use it all the time. I don't know. But I guess I use it enough to use it up. One very frustrating thing about this is when you get the applicator out, the tiniest little bit comes out on the applicator. So I have to dip in over and over and over to get how much I want on it. And it's very frustrating. So I'll use it, but I won't finish up, but it's nice. I have here the Believe Beauty You're Covered Liquid Concealer. I mentioned this in a Good Products Bad Packaging video because the applicator just fell right off. Right now it's just a plastic stick. And maybe I'll just use like this tool to get the concealer out and just wipe this on my face. Also the packaging for the but also the packaging for the JOSIE MARAN one is so similar that I think this will fit here. So once I finish one of these up, I'm going to try to just get another applicator in here because I actually really, really enjoy this concealer. But I'm not going to put it in like the can't live without it category because if the packaging falls apart again, that's going to be very frustrating. So love the concealer. It's absolutely beautiful on the skin. Wears all day, great coverage, looks pretty. I just love it. I love everything about it except the packaging. So that's the only reason it's not in the like can't live without it category. I have 5 more. So I have here the Ulta Beauty Full Coverage Liquid Concealer Waterproof. I think I used one of these up. I don't remember if I did, but I feel like this is the second one that I've bought. I have here the shade Light Warm. And this is a very high coverage concealer. The only reason I don't use it as much is because I picked a shade that's a little too yellow for me. And I don't love that. Like I said, same issue with the JOSIE MARAN. The color is just a little too off. So anytime I use it, you could tell the concealer is a wrong shade or a different shade than the foundation. So every time I use this, I have to like use it on my whole face. But that being said, if you pick the right shade, it's really, really nice. It is the highest coverage concealer I think that Ulta does right now. Very pretty on the skin, wears all day, looks nice, but the shade is just not right for me. So I don't even know if I'm going to use this up actually. You know what? I'm going to declutter it. It's not the right shade and I never want to reach for it. The LA Colors Ultimate Cover Concealer. This is like a hidden gem out there. I got this at Big Lots. I have the shade CC907 Natural. I think they were trying to go for like an e.l.f. camo concealer type of thing with this applicator, but I love this. I don't like the e.l.f. camo concealer at all. I think it's so bad. There's a swatch right there. This one feels really nice. It's creamy, a little bit on the thicker side, blends super nice, looks great on the skin, high coverage, but it doesn't look cakey or anything like that. And I just think it's a beautiful, very underrated product. I think I got this at Big Lots, but I'm sure they sell this at like Family Dollar and places that sell this kind of LA Color stuff, but I love this. I love this a lot. It's not one that I can't live without, but it's a really, really good one. All right, L'Oreal True Match Eye Cream in a Concealer. This is one I always forget that I even have because it looks so much like the sample size of the IT Cosmetics CC cream. It looks so similar to this. So this is actually one I use as a foundation. I actually don't like it as an under eye cream at all or an under eye concealer. I don't think it's very good like that. It's just too thin and not enough coverage. You have to put too much and it looks bad when you build it up. But for some reason on the face, it looks so good. So this is one I had accidentally used as a foundation once because I thought that it was the CC stuff from It Cosmetics, and it's beautiful on the skin. So it has a really thin formula, very like lightweight, watery, definitely a serum type of texture. But it feels even thinner and more serum-y than the actual serum foundation that L'Oreal has. This one feels like it's serum with some pigment in it. It doesn't feel like foundation or eye cream or under eye concealer at all. So pretty on the skin. This is what I wish the serum foundation was, because that's okay. This is really, really good, and I wish this was the foundation. It's really pretty. So I'll use that up, but I'm not gonna buy it again just for that purpose. And then the two last ones I have here, these two little pots. I have the Glossier Stretch Concealer. I have the shade G11. And I know I just complained about a couple of concealers earlier having like no coverage and they blend into nothing, because this is like sheer coverage. But for some reason, this one's really nice. I like the coverage of this. I love that it's light and I love that it's sheer. I love that it's barely there because the formula is really, really nice. So every time I want to use something sheer and lightweight in the concealer department, this is the one I reach for because it's what it's meant to be. It's not a concealer that claims to have like coverage and then it disappears. I know exactly what I'm getting when I use this, and I always am happy that I have it even though I don't use it that often. And then the last one is the Becca Smashbox Under Eye Brightening Corrector. I have here the shade Fair Light. And I don't use this that often actually because it's an under eye corrector, but it's, I guess you could use it however you want to correct, but it's very pink. And I prefer my under eye corrector to have the corrector and concealer in one, which is why I love the Tarte CC Under Eye Corrector so much. Because this one is very pink. You do have to cover it with concealer, and I don't love having to do that second step. But every now and then I'll reach for this just for a little extra coverage, a little extra something on the under eyes. And it's nice to have, but if I ever use this up, I probably wouldn't buy it again. But it's really nice. It's a very, very pretty under eye concealer, emollient, rich feeling, great for probably dry under eyes. And you know, I like it. I like it enough to keep it, but it's not a holy grail, you know? But that is it. Those are all of the concealers I have and my reviews on them, my holy grails, the in-betweens, and the declutters. Let me know what some of your favorites, your fails, your holy grails. I would love to know your concealer, just your concealer journey. I want to know it. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're still here, thank you. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and I will see you later in another video. Goodbye.